Now at McDonald's, a McDouble is $2.50, so you can get your gym gains on. Or just get lunch for only $2.50. Get more value on the under $3 menu.
Limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Prices may be higher for delivery.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Hey, I'm A.
And I'm Jay. Welcome to Moxicated, a space for healing, connection, and life beyond booze.
We share real stories, honest convos, and the tools that helped us ditch alcohol and come back to ourselves.
Whether you're sober curious, or just craving something deeper, you can do this your way.
So join us every Monday and Thursday for laughs, tears, and your besties AF.
Now go listen to Moxicated wherever you get your podcasts.
You will never be 100% ready to have surgery. You will never be 100% convinced that it's the best answer in the world and you're so excited to have it. And I think a lot of people wait for that moment to feel like this deep peace with having surgery or this deep knowing that it's the best answer or it's the right answer. Surgery is a really, really, really major thing, even if you know it's right. Like even if in your brain, you know it's the right thing. It's absolutely okay to recognize and acknowledge this is a big deal. I have some hesitation about it. I'm a little bit nervous about it. I don't know how I feel about it. And it's okay to kind of hold both of those truths at once. I'm Jessica Valant. I'm a physical therapist, women's health expert, and Pilates teacher, and my goal is to help all women feel strong, safe, and secure in their bodies. In this podcast, I'll share expert advice, facts, amazing guests, stories, compassion, and hope to help you meet your body in all seasons of life. Hi, and welcome back to Meet Your Body. We are talking about surgery today, but a really specific kind of segment of that. So I have talked to you numerous times, and I have many resources, and I'll link them below, about surgery specifically. We have talked about how to prepare for surgery. We have talked about anesthesia, like really specifically and targeted information about what you need to know about anesthesia when you go under anesthesia. We've talked about recovering from hysterectomy surgery, from prolapse repair surgery, from mastectomy surgery. So those are all resources to serve you if you are going to have surgery, if you've had surgery, if again, you're looking at a really specific surgery and you want steps on recovery or how to prepare, I have all of those. So those are definitely available to you. Today, I'm coming at it from a little bit of a different perspective in that I have a lot of personal experience with surgery. So I've been a physical therapist and been in healthcare for over 25 years. I have helped countless clients and patients recover from surgery and prepare for surgery. But I have also been through 6 major surgeries myself. And I find when I'm working with clients and when I'm teaching, when I'm giving workshops, when I'm educating in any way, there are a few things that I bring to that really come from that personal experience. And so that's what today's episode is. As it kind of piggybacks with everything else that I've talked to you about, all of the teaching that we do, everything you need to know about surgery. This piggybacks on that to give you kind of that just deeper place of vulnerability, and like you were talking to a friend who's been through it, and the friend is saying, you know what, okay, we're going to brush off our pants here. We're going to get out our notepads, our pencil, our paper. You're going to write down what I want you to know. Like this is that extra little bit that you might not get from reading a textbook or reading an article. These are the extras. That's what I'm bringing to you today. It's kind of that extra bit when it comes to having surgery. All right. I will tell you my perspective, my context, because it's interesting. There are times that I kind of forget that not everyone has this deep experience with surgery like I do. I mean, I forget that there are people who haven't been under anesthesia before because it is such a common and regular part of my life to this point. And even I know, have not had as many surgeries as many, many, many people out there. So I've had 6 major surgeries in the past 23 years. So my first was when I was 25 years old, and I had my tonsils out and what's called a thyroglossal duct cyst. So I had a precancerous cyst, and it was a thyroglossal duct cyst. And that was my first experience with major surgery. I did spend the night for that one. So that was my first one. And then since then, I had a laparoscopy for endometriosis. Then I had a second one, again, for endometriosis. Then I've had a hysterectomy with prolapse repair, pelvic floor prolapse repair. Then I've had a double mastectomy. And then my last surgery was 15 months ago or so. And it was what's called a fat grafting procedure that is commonly done after a mastectomy. So that's been my experience, combination of outpatient, where I was able to go home that day, and staying the night. So overnight recovery in the hospital, a combination of all of those. So like I said, I've learned a lot personally, but also kind of from that, always coming at it with my physical therapy kind of healthcare brain also, and realizing what has helped me in recovery after those surgeries. So these kind of ideas or tips or just thoughts that I have for you really are general, meaning they would apply to any surgery. So as I said at the beginning, you can go back to a lot of those resources I have if you want really specific kind of tips and guides for hysterectomy or for prolapse repair or for mastectomy. These today that I'm getting into are just those general thoughts I have around surgery, preparing for, recovering from, anything that I would want you to know if you came to me and said, I'm thinking about having surgery, or the doctor has recommended surgery, or surgery might be in my future, or I have surgery scheduled, or I have had surgery recently and I'm coming to you for some guidance. These are the things, in addition to all of that, like I said, kind of specific anatomy, physiology, physical therapy stuff I'd want you to know. These are the things that I would feel on my heart are important to tell you as well. All right, so let's jump in. The first one is that you will never be 100% ready to have surgery. You will never be 100% convinced that it's the best answer in the world and you're so excited to have it. And I think a lot of people wait for that moment when they've been told they might need surgery or they know it's in their future sometime. And I do kind of pre-surgical consults with them. I just sense that they're kind of waiting for that to happen, either to get excited for it possibly, but more than that, to feel like this deep peace with having surgery, or this deep knowing that it's the best answer or it's the right answer. And a lot of times people, I think, sit back and wait for that moment. And I am not at all telling you to jump in if you don't feel ready. Because that's another piece we'll talk about, is actually I don't. There's a part of me that kind of thinks that you need to have some belief that surgery will work in order for it to work. I think you do need some of that belief. And also, I don't believe you will get to 100% place of, yes, let's go. I'm ready. I've had my questions answered. I've done all my research. I've checked my boxes. I can't wait. Let's do it. That doesn't typically happen. Surgery is a really, really, really major thing. Even if you know it's right, like even if in your brain, you know it's the right thing, total knee replacement, surgery you have to have on your shoulder. You tore your ACL, so you don't have a choice, right? You have to have it fixed. There are surgeries that just are going to happen. And in your brain, you might even know, yes, this is the right thing. Absolutely. I don't know if you'll get to that 100% knowing, convinced, peaceful place in your body. Surgery is a really big deal. And it is okay to acknowledge that. Like, it's absolutely okay to recognize and acknowledge this is a big deal. I have some hesitation about it. I'm a little bit nervous about it. I don't know how I feel about it. Um, and it's okay to kind of hold both of those truths at once. So I tell people, especially people who aren't sure, again, and this is more typical in the, okay, I've had knee pain for a long time. My x-rays are showing it's bone on bone. I have severe arthritis. The doctor says that I'm just going to need a total knee replacement someday. And a lot of times those clients that I'm working with are kind of waiting to feel 100% ready to have that surgery. And I just let them know you really might not get to that point because surgery is a big deal. Very few people probably wake up and say, I'm so excited to have surgery today. I'm absolutely ready to do it. I suddenly know it's the right thing to do. That's not typically how it works. What happens instead is that you will wake up one day and the risk of having surgery or the cons of having surgery, the things you'll have to deal with having surgery, that's worth it to go through it, to not have to live the way you are anymore. Like either the pain just gets so bad or you get so tired of it that you're willing to try surgery, or you're so tired of being limited by what you're going through that you're willing to have surgery. That happened to me with my prolapse repair. No one could come and tell me that my grade 4 prolapse was going to hinder my life. Like, right? It wasn't life threatening. So no one could say I had to have it. Also, I was living with a constant bulge, constant pressure. It was grating on me day after day. It was constantly there. It was limiting my movement. It was limiting me being able to be active with my kids. I was always questioning what it was going to be like in the future. It got to the point that at my age and doing the research that I had done, knowing what could be coming in the future, but also having a big unknown. I didn't know if it was going to continue to get worse. I didn't know if it wouldn't. I just didn't know. No one could tell me that. All I could do was make the best choice for myself with the information I had and the body that I was living in. And that's what I did. And that's what it will look like sometimes. Like I just knew I didn't want to keep waking up with that bulge, with the constant pressure. The risk of going through surgery and the unknown was worth it, knowing that there was a possibility that I wouldn't have to live that way anymore. That's where I had gotten to. So a lot of times surgery will look like that. And then with that, I say, knowing that, I do want you to do everything possible beforehand so that when you wake up after, you know that you did everything you could before. And I think that's important too. You don't want to rush into surgery and then later say, you know what, but I didn't try this before and maybe I should have. I didn't try this before and maybe I should have. That doesn't mean wait 3 or 4 years necessarily, but know that in general, and I'm going to have a caveat to this, okay? In general, you don't have to decide within 1 month necessarily if you're going to have surgery or not. Usually with these orthopedic issues that I see as a PT or with prolapse kind of issues, typically you're going to have a little time. So you have time to do the physical therapy beforehand. You have time to search out some conservative treatments. You have time to get second opinions. You have time to kind of do your own research and sit with your body and see what your goals really are. You have time to maybe rearrange your life a little bit so recovery is easier after if you are having surgery. So know that. Do what you can beforehand. Don't rush into it because afterwards it's really important that you can look and say, you know what, I made this choice in my full agency with all the information given to me. And I think that's an important part of it as well, is that afterwards, and I've said this to my husband after my most recent surgery, actually, I said, okay, in the first 2 weeks after, I'm going to sit there and wonder, Why did I do this? Oh my gosh, I feel miserable. I should have just lived with it the way it was. Like the first 2 weeks after are hard, no matter what your surgery is. You are tired. You feel awful. You can't sleep. You can't eat. It's just the nature of surgery. Okay. So I told him, but remind me why I made this choice. Remind me that I did it with full knowledge, with agency, with knowing it was important to me to do it. And I did everything beforehand to prepare. Like, remind me of that. And so doing that work beforehand is important. So all of that to say, wrapping it up here, this point is that don't sit and wait to feel 100% ready and convinced it's the right answer, because that might not come. Instead, reframe it so that you're doing all your prep work for, right? Everything you need to do to have your questions answered, to do your second opinions, conservative treatment, doing your physical therapy beforehand. All of that is really important. Then make the choice that's right for you with the information you have, so that after you can say, I made the right choice for myself. Even not knowing what the results would be, because they're never 100% guaranteed, I made the right choice so I can move forward feeling confident in that, because it was the right choice for me with the information that I had. I'm going to give one other point to that everything I just said really relates to things that you can wait on a little bit. I have also been diagnosed with breast cancer, and that's a different animal because you do have to make choices very quickly. You are thrown into test after test after test and really scary information and some really hard decision making. I mean, I was told I had breast cancer, and 4 weeks later, I was having a double mastectomy. And within that time, I had to quickly decide, do I want to have a single mastectomy? Do I want to have double mastectomy? Is it possible to have radiation? What does that look like? Meeting with doctors, learning as much as I could, and also dealing with the emotional fallout and the fear involved with that. That's a different decision-making process. So you need to honor that and know that there will be times that you don't have the luxury of lots and lots of second opinions and taking your time to choose information. So do the best you can with what you're given. And I will say, all of that in that quick decision-making time, being diagnosed with cancer, it was a little easier because of the work I had done to become a partner with my body in the previous 20 years. So my second tip is take time to develop that relationship with your body. Do it before surgery is needed. Take time to know, what are your priorities just in life in general. How do you like to move your body? Do you have kind of a movement habit in place? Have you practiced using your voice for yourself? Have you practiced listening to your body? Have you practiced not being resentful of your body and instead having that partnership or relationship with it? Do you know what feels good to you? Do you know what doesn't feel good to you? Do you know how to ask the doctors questions? All of that served me immensely when I had to make hard, fast decisions in a really scary time. So having that kind of foundation, not only of movement, but just of a relationship with your body, is really, really important, because it does make the decision-making process easier when you need to do it, when you're called upon to make decisions for and with your body. It becomes easier when you have taken the time to put those deposits in your health bank account and get to know your body in the previous years. I have a few more tips and thoughts I'm going to share. And first, a quick word from our sponsor who helps make this show possible. Did you know 3 out of 4 U.S. homes have toxic chemicals in their tap water? Even though contaminated water looks clear, it could put you at risk for devastating health concerns, including fatigue, hormone disruption, cognitive decline, and more. Surprisingly, standard fridge and pitcher filters do little to remove most contaminants, and bottled water contains microplastics. So, as I ask myself, what is the solution? If I can't use any of that, where do I go from here? Introducing AquaTrue, the countertop water purifier tested and certified to remove 84 contaminants, including chlorine, lead, forever chemicals, and microplastics. Its patented 4-stage reverse osmosis system goes way beyond ordinary filters. For pure, healthy water you can trust, no plumbing, no installation, and it is beautiful. AquaTrue has been featured in Business Insider, Popular Science, and named Best Countertop Water Filter by Good Housekeeping. Join 98% of customers who say their drinking water is cleaner, safer, and healthier. Head to aquatrue.com now and get 20% off your purifier using promo code MEETYOURBODY. AquaTrue even comes with a 30-day best-tasting water guarantee or your money back. Take the guesswork out of pure, great-tasting water with this exclusive podcast-only offer now at aquatrue.com. That's AQUATRU.com using promo code MEETYOURBODY.
Experience a membership that backs what you're building with American Express Business Platinum. Unlock over $3,500 in business and travel value annually with statement credits on select purchases from brands like Dell, Hilton, and Adobe, and other benefits. American Express Business Platinum. There's nothing like it. Based on total potential value of statement credits on select purchases and other benefits, enrollments required, monthly and other limits and terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-platinum.
And now back to our show. All right, so let's get into my next thought that I would like you to know. If you are considering surgery, if you've had surgery, if you are going to have surgery, and that is that every surgery is major surgery. Every surgery is a big deal. And I am talking about surgery where you're going under general anesthesia. That is kind of my indicator today on what I'm talking about is if you're under general anesthesia. I know many of you out there, myself included, you've had other surgeries. I've had egg retrievals done for IVF and I've had wisdom teeth out. Those are surgical procedures, but you're not under that general anesthesia. So that is what I'm using today, kind of with what I'm talking about. And in that case, every surgery is a major surgery. There is this tendency from surgeons sometimes, especially for surgeries such as having your knee scoped. If you're having arthroscopic surgery on your knee, sometimes I'll hear, oh, it's just a scope. It's no big deal. Oh, it's just a hysterectomy. No big deal. It's one of the most common surgeries. Everyone gets it. Every surgery that you're under general anesthesia is a big deal. And I am validating that for you. It is a pet peeve of mine when surgeons come at it from that standpoint because they take away the important things that you need to know when it comes to recovery and how to prepare for that. It kind of takes away the fact that you might have a hard time recovering and you feel like, oh, there's something wrong with me because this surgery was no big deal. This was a minor surgery. So please know that. And I'm not saying that to scare you in any way, shape, or form. I am really saying it to kind of lift you up and validate that you are going to have some recovery time needed no matter what surgery you have. I truly believe that if you just went under anesthesia and then came back out, like without a scalpel touching your body, you would have major recovery time because the anesthesia alone takes time to recover from. So just keep that in mind. No matter what surgery you have, you're going to have some time needed for recovery. All right. And then with that, another point is knowing that anesthesia alone really does take its own recovery. And I have a whole podcast about just anesthesia if you want to learn more. If you're new to surgery and you just want a heads up on what to expect, it's a really good resource for you to have. But anesthesia alone takes time to recover from. It can take weeks for our body to process and kind of get rid of the anesthesia that is throughout our body. It can give you headaches. It can make you emotional. It can actually make you cry at the drop of a hat. It can make you really groggy. So just know that. Again, it's something really important to go into understanding because that is a piece that surgeons and doctors really don't touch on. And so again, they can make us feel like we should just bounce back really quickly because it's just a scope or it's just this basic procedure. But if you've been under anesthesia, I am here to tell you it will take some time for you to feel like yourself again. So allow that, allow space for that, and honor yourself during that time. To go with that, every surgery will take a good amount of time to recover from. And I tell all of my clients and patients to give it a year for the dust to settle, no matter the surgery. Give it a year for the dust to settle. What that means is, even if that surgeon tells you, oh, you'll be back to yourself in 12 weeks, you'll be back to all your activities in 12 weeks. Yes, you might, but you're probably not going to feel like yourself. You're probably not going to feel like you did before. You might feel a little more hesitant about things. You might not feel like your endurance is there. You might have knee swelling for 6 months easily after surgery. It takes a year. Give it that time. And I actually say that not from a place of, oh, shoot, this is going to take you a while. Buckle in because it's going to take a year. I actually say it from a place of, hey, if you're still not feeling like yourself after 8 months, that's okay because it takes a year for you to know kind of how the dust is settled, how your body's processing it. It can take a year for that swelling to go down. It can take time for the tendon receptors, for your brain body connection again, for your proprioception, for your resilience, for endurance, for immune system. It can take a year for all of that to really start to come together again. So allow yourself that time. It won't necessarily take a year for you to have your strength back. Okay. I am not saying that. Many times there are pieces that you will recover much quickly or much more quickly. But overall, the idea of your body coming back to that place of working as an entire unit, it can take a year. And sometimes it can take a little longer. For me, this is just personally, after my hysterectomy and prolapse repair surgery, it wasn't really the hysterectomy piece, it was the prolapse repair piece. It took a year for me to feel like I had that agency and autonomy over my body in that I could work out the way I wanted to again. Like that I felt embodiment again, that I knew kind of how I moved and that I was in charge of that. It's hard to explain unless you've been in that place before, but it took me a year to get to that place that I wasn't completely having to be front of brain, constantly thinking about every move. Like it was a little more natural to move. It took a year. It took 2 years for me to get to a place that I had complete freedom of movement, meaning I could go out and try whatever class I wanted. Every workout felt like free, that I understood what I was doing and how I was doing it. I wasn't constantly thinking of how I could modify it. I wasn't constantly thinking, oh my gosh, am I prolapsing again? Like there was so much PTSD involved in that surgery for me. I had lived with prolapse for so long before having surgery that there were a lot of layers I needed to unpeel and a lot of like systems and movement habits I needed to build up again in a new way to be in this kind of what felt like a new body to me. So I'm not saying it took me a full year to recover from surgery or 2 years by any means, but it took me that long. It took me being intentional about movement and about confidence and feeling safe in my body and wanting to find joy in movement. It took me 2 years of that to come to a place of complete freedom so that now when people say, oh my gosh, you're not afraid to work out with prolapse repair? No, because I did that intentional work for 2 years so that I can get to this place. Doesn't mean I can do anything that I want to. It means that I feel freedom in my body and I feel safe with my body and confidence in knowing what I can and can't do. And those are the part, like that's the nuance and the context that's really missed when doctors just give you a simple, oh, in 12 weeks, you'll be back to this. Well, yeah, maybe. And also, it's okay if you don't feel like yourself after 12 weeks because it takes longer to unpack all of those other pieces, but you can do it. And you can come back stronger and more empowered than you were before. But you need to be intentional and purposeful with it. Like you have to be an active participant in your recovery. So that's the next piece. You need to be an active participant in your rehab, in your recovery. You have to be intentional with movement. You have to be purposeful with it. You need to have a plan afterwards. I want you to go see a physical therapist. And this too, I know I have a lot of pet peeves. I'm sorry. It's from doing this for as long as I have in a professional manner. A lot of patients are not given the support they need after. They're told either sometimes like you don't need physical therapy at all, right? You don't need it. Or 2, you only need 4 weeks and then you're good to go. Or 3, just do whatever feels good. Well, that's not helpful sometimes because I don't even know what feels good. Like I can't even feel my body. I don't know if I'm going to hurt it, if I'm going to damage it. So I see women, literally, I'm not exaggerating. I have worked with women 5 and 10 years after a hysterectomy who have not gotten back to lifting weights or exercising because they're afraid because no one ever told them that they could. Like that is the damage that we're doing for people when we say, oh, just start exercising when it feels good again. Sometimes it doesn't feel good again because we're so scared of doing it. So you have to be an active participant in learning what you can and can't do, seeking out guidance and information if your surgeon isn't giving it to you, going to see a physical therapist, maybe working with someone like me virtually online and just saying, hey, can I just talk to you for an hour about what's typical after surgery? What can I expect? What's a beginner program? When should I seek out physical therapy? Like, go in with your questions. Don't leave that doctor's office until you have your questions answered. If you are unsure about what you can and can't do, ask specifically. Like I'm always that squeaky wheel. If they tell me don't lift more than 10 pounds, I'll say, okay, great. Does that mean overhead? Or does that mean at my side? Does that mean both hands or one hand? Can I lift my child? I am there with all of the questions. And then when they tell me what I can and can't do, I'm going to find a program to do that. And I make it my job to rehab. It is my job. I don't assume that movement will come back naturally because when you've had pain, when you've had fear, when you've had complications, or when you don't have a relationship with your body, it doesn't always come back naturally. So you have to work for it, and that's okay. But you have to be an active participant in that. And then my last piece, my last thing, if we are on a walk, if we're having coffee, if we're chatting, if you're my client, if we're friends and just hanging out and I'm telling you what to expect from surgery, this is the piece I want you to know. This is the last piece that I am going to reiterate for you. You will recover. You will. 100%. It might not look like you exactly envisioned. It might be a shorter timetable. It might be a longer timetable. It might involve reframing a little bit your expectations of what it will feel like or what it will look like. It might not feel like the exact same movement as you had before surgery. It might feel better. It might just feel different, but you will recover. And movement and strength are available to you if you put in the work and remember everything that we've talked about today. It is available to you. You can move your body again. And if somebody tells you you can't, if somebody hears about a surgery that you had, whether it's a personal trainer or a fitness instructor or a doctor or a friend or a family member, and they heard about a surgery you had and they say, oh my gosh, you can't ever do that again. Haven't you heard that? Then I want you to find someone else. And I want you to ask your questions and get them answered. Because movement should not cause fear. You should not be afraid to use your body. You should not be afraid to live your life. And yes, it might look different or feel different than it has in the past, but recovery is available to you. Strength and movement are available to you. You will have a stronger relationship with your body if you let yourself believe that and you let yourself do the work to get there. I hope that helped. I truly, truly send you all my best wishes and healing energy if you have had a surgery in your past or you have one coming up in the future. And again, you can check out more resources below or simply go to Meet Your Body or search Jessica Valant Surgery on YouTube or on my website or my podcast, and you will find many resources to help you in this area. All right, I'll talk to you again soon. Thanks so much for listening today. I would love it if you could take a moment to subscribe, rate, and review this podcast. It means a lot to us and it helps our content get out to more women who need it. You can find more of my resources at my website, jessicavalant.com, or find me on YouTube at Jessica Valant and Instagram at Jessica S. Valant.